Welcome back to the after show for the Real Housewives of Dallas, people. One night in Bangkok makes these hard housewives humble. Yes, it does. We're talking lady boys and pee-pee shows and ping pong and condoms and cabbage, all of that and more coming up for you next.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, you guys. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Real Housewives of Dallas after show. Woo-hoo. All right, you guys, I am your host, Erika Edwards, but I couldn't do it without the crew, the amazing fashionista, Suzi.
What's up, guys?
Yes. What's up, party people? All right, you guys, stay tuned till the end because we have some hilarious tweets for you and some news and gossip and a little extra. So stay till the end, you guys. All right, you all. This episode, we're hitting episode 13, season 4, One Night in Bangkok. So, Suzi, what did you think overall of the episode?
I thought it was really great. I loved seeing the women sort of bond when they were at kind of like the sanctuary for the elephants. So there was one moment where they were not all fighting for a small heartbeat.
Very true.
I thought the end of the episode, the one night in Bangkok, was hilarious. It was so funny to me. I mean, there are parts of it that are kind of controversial a little bit, but I mean, just the women in general, all their personalities. Like, overall, I loved the episode.
Yeah, I really thought that this episode is sort of really picking it up for the season. I think this season has been sometimes on, sometimes off. I love the ladies, but I think as the Dallas franchise or as the Bravo franchise of Real Housewives grows, we need to keep it fresh. And, we don't need you to be beefing and fighting all the time, but it just needs to have a storyline and be entertaining. And I think this episode provided a lot of that. For sure.
Miss Cameron, I loved her in this episode. I saw a side of her I haven't seen before, and it was great.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see Cam in this episode, and I really feel like if we could see more of her in the confessional and amongst the ladies, because she was hilarious in the confessional. I felt like this whole episode, she had so many jokes. She was so funny, and she's kind of like that on the show, but she's also a little uptight on the show too. So it was interesting to see her kind of, in that dynamic. Yes. But it was very fun to see the ladies. All right, so let's start about let's talk a little bit about Deandra, because I felt like this episode, I'm not sure kind of where she was going with everything, because I feel like she's constantly explaining the dress. It was a joke. And even when Leanne's not around, even nobody's asking you about the dress, why are you still talking about the dress? I mean, even from the very next morning, they're leaving off to go to the sanctuary, and she's still explaining to Stephanie and everyone what she meant. And now I'm like, you're doing the most. What were your thoughts?
Drop it. Just drop it. No, I mean, I think, again, it's just dragging out something that has been done already. I think for me, Deandra, I didn't like what she did. I think it started out as a joke. It was supposed to be funny. Then it went way more into what it should have been. But for them to still be talking about it the next morning, the day after, that's only going to muster Leanne up again. And I just kind of think that the whole thing was it was immature, is what I felt.
Yeah, I agree. Although I don't really feel like it was a joke. I think in the end, she knew she did it to be a mean girl, right? And I think she thought that Stephanie and the other girls and Brandy and everyone else was going to stand up and stand behind her and kind of he at Leanne, and it didn't go down that way. So now I feel like, okay, she's really apologizing so she can get back in with the girls, not so much I'm not really feeling like she cared. I mean, she cares about Leanne, but if she really was trying to get in with Leanne, she would just say, I'm really sorry, instead of constantly trying to placate it. So I think, that's kind of a little shady to me.
Yeah, I think so too. And even Carrie taking a little bit part of it, I'm like, you have a jewelry line, girl. And if they were doing that to you, you wouldn't have been happy at that dinner if they were talking about oh, your jewelry falls apart. Oh, it's bad. It's this and that. And I just think it just kept going.
Yeah, that's true. However, as Carrie did point out, Leanne did make the anal beads comment, and that's like really, really offensive and horrific.
Right.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you can't take it, you shouldn't throw it. So,
yes, agreed. Agreed.
So it's really cool. So what's interesting also, I think, is that they all go to Thailand, but then, and we discussed this a little bit a couple of weeks ago when we were last here, but they're very fearful of trying like Thai food. Like I don't they have Thai restaurants in Dallas? I'm not sure, but they just seem like so fearful. Like you can't try grilled chicken on a stick. Like they just were like afraid of everything. And it was nice to see Deandra and Carrie try stuff, but Cam has even been to Bangkok before. So it's interesting to see how sort of uptight they are with the world travel. What do you think?
The whole reason you go to Thailand is to eat the street food and all of the crazy stuff that's there. And I think the same thing too, like that moment when the girls wouldn't eat and they're saying like, I don't want to have dirty plates. And I think the same, it's like almost like they're a little sheltered in their travels because that's part of the culture of Thailand. And that's what you do when you travel there.
Exactly. And what's a little bit surprising about it is that Cam, Carrie, like several of them have already been to Bangkok. So it's not like your first time going. So why are y'all acting like brand new right now? And it was cute that Stephanie kind of like pretends she's going to eat something, but doesn't. So that was kind of adorable. So one of the things, as you mentioned, that we really see that's really nice is they have this moment at the elephant sanctuary. And they go through kind of the history of how they're saving these elephants and all of that. And that was, I thought, a really special moment where they all kind of got to participate and bond.
Right. And it's nice right now that this episode has aired because obviously it's a big thing that's going on right now with saving the elephant. So I'm glad that they went and did that and bonded because it definitely, I think, made all of them so much more aware of what these animals are going through. And you saw all of them just feel a moment at some point during that time that they were there.
Very true. However, Brandy brings up the point, and several people brought up the point, and this on Twitter too, and I think we have a tweet that kind of goes to it, is that afterwards, when they're in the bus, Leanne starts, and even in her confessional, and I get it that maybe these elephants triggered something in her, so I don't want to be totally like impatient with her, but it does seem like she's always trying to bring the moment back to her very often.
100%. And there were a lot of tweets regarding that today because, as always, she takes the situation and tries to make it about herself. And I just think that kind of what you said, that it really could have triggered something in her. But once again, it's just another episode where I feel like Leanne tries to play the kind of poor me card. And again, she did it with this whole situation.
Exactly. And I think, like, for me, I was okay when she was like one-on-one with the baby elephant. And, you know, I just had to go out at 3. And I thought she was going to say she was molested at 3. I was like, dang, we just met your mama a few weeks ago. But she's like, I had to go out at 3 and perform. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you worked at a carnival. Like, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if someone's parents are farmers and you have to go out and farm, like, I do feel for them. But that is the nature of, like, growing up on a carnival. So, but I got that and I was okay with that really. But it kind of wore thin once she got back to the bus, because then it's like, it's one thing to share it with the audience, because I feel like, okay, I'll let you slide. Perhaps this is authentic.
Right.
But once you got back to the bus, it's like, okay, now everybody, woe is me. You know, my life is so hard.
She's like, I'm broken. The elephants are broken. Everyone's broken. Like, it just kind of goes back to that. And it just gets to the point where I think, like, the ladies kind of, like, roll their eyes at her at this point because it's happening again.
Exactly. And to me, fundamentally, like, every single day of this trip, I would be like, I'm never traveling with this hoe again. Never, ever. Because it's like she messed up her vacation in Mexico with all her complaining. And now she's here in Thailand every single day, like, full of, if she's not, oh my God, crying and my life is so hard, then she's like drilling Cameron and like acting like she's somebody's mother. And I'm like, I can't with you. Like, you know, I mean, I appreciate that maybe Stephanie or Bravo paid for this trip, but you're not going to ruin my vacation, like, on everybody's back. Like, I don't even know. I'm like, who is her friend? Who could live with this? Who wants to like vacation like that? That's why I feel Cameron is really running, you guys, because Leanne is working her last nerve. All right. Well, before we go to the next topic, Suzi has something great to share with you guys.
We just want to thank everyone for making us the ESPN of TV talk. If you guys are watching, make sure you leave comments, go to YouTube, subscribe to AfterBuzz, go onto iTunes, leave us 5 stars. We love your comments across our social media channels at AfterBuzz TV. We couldn't do this without you, so we thank you so much for being a part of our family.
Yes, you guys. And if you're watching right now or later, then you might as well like us, comment, because you're already here, people. So please do it. And definitely give us 5 stars, like on iTunes and SoundCloud if you're listening by audio. All right. So what was interesting, I think, on this episode is we really start to see some sort of friendship developing between Cameron and Carrie. Yes. And that seems to actually come from an authentic place. They seem to kind of be vibing, and very much like when Deandra first came onto the show, Leanne was always really jealous of her, like sort of when she starts to make friends with other people in the group. So it seems like, I don't know, you can't be Leanne's friend and someone else's friend, but it was interesting to see Carrie and Cameron get along.
Yes. I kind of liked their little moments that they had, and it's kind of fun to see new friendships develop. And of course, again, you know, Leanne makes some kind of comment when they're ordering food, like, what are you guys, 3? And I'm like, well, you're the one that's acting like it's like a school kid that's jealous of all of these friendships. But right. I liked the kind of relationship that's happening with them, because I'm a big fan of Carrie. And I'm starting to love Cam. And so I'm seeing them kind of evolve as the show has been going on in this season.
Exactly. And it's interesting to see Cameron kind of get out on her own, because I think she's been so much under Leanne's shadow for, you know, so many, at least for this season for sure. And it's nice to kind of, you know, see her take her little baby legs and get out there and make new friends, girl. You're doing it. So what's cute is we get to see at one point, we see Cameron, Deandra, and Carrie getting a massage. So some kind of way, you know, they end up going to the massage to get a massage, and then Brandy, Stephanie, and Leanne end up going to have lunch. Although I don't really think they ate anything. They were just fanning each other and drinking beers because they're afraid of the food. But they went to go do what they're doing. And but it was really nice to see Cameron sticking up for Leanne in a way that just kind of broke it down and wasn't like antagonistic, or, you know, she wasn't like fighting for Leanne. She was just like, well, this is why it hurt her feelings.
Right. And I think that was really great, because I think Stephanie had kind of tried at one point in the beginning when they were kind of when the initial fight kind of broke out. But yes, it's really nice to see Cameron sticking up for herself and sticking up for others, because I do once again see a different side of her right now.
Right.
That's a little bit stronger, and I don't know, I think just kind of a little bit more taking control of situations.
Exactly. And I think it's interesting because in the past, I felt like Cameron is very jealous of, you know, other people's friendships and other people's relationships. And it's good to see her kind of like let all that go and relax a little bit. And then people will want to be your friend if you just calm down with it. Right. And that was nice to really see that between her and Carrie. And it seemed like once she really explained to Carrie sort of Deandra and Leanne's history, that's why it's not funny. And it was funny because it was like, well, yeah, Deandra should have known that, but it was good of you to explain it to Carrie, who did not know. So that was a good moment. And it's interesting too, because now Leanne is always constantly sort of like criticizing and throwing sort of little side digs against Carrie, like the entire episode, really.
Yes. And again, in this episode, you know, she uses some racial language that is very inappropriate. And once again, I think that Leanne just keeps putting her foot in her mouth, because she keeps bringing things up and saying things that are just, to me, they're not the right words to say or call somebody out on.
Exactly. Absolutely. And it's interesting because we see them, you know, after they do the massage thing or whatever, when they're still at the market, they have this whole little scene where they're talking about the friendship bracelet. Right. And everybody, it's like, it's not even that deep. It's probably like $1. Like, we're in Thailand. Like, it's not anything. And she's like, I'm not 12. I don't need, and it's like, really? Like, okay, she's like, okay. And then she makes a big statement. So everyone has one but me. And it's like, we're trying to buy a bracelet at this little bead shop. Like, why is she so dramatic with this?
No, and again, this whole episode, she makes herself look like the immature young child because, like, it's a friendship bracelet. They're all getting a bracelet. You don't have to wear it, put it on. But she makes, again, like a big deal about it. And I'm like, you know, there's no reason for that.
Right. Or just don't get it. But I don't want to hear about it. No. Like, stop talking. Because to me, it's like, it's just a way to, again, make herself the center focus. 100%. And make everything a big deal. And now, because everybody else has made me do it, now I got to go get this $2 bracelet. Like, stop it.
Sometimes I just think she needs to stop talking.
Yeah.
She just kind of goes and goes to be heard. And then it ends up looking bad.
And I think to some extent, try to remember that you're on vacation. Like, you're supposed to be having fun. So just like take a breather, relax. If you don't want to buy these beads, buy some other beads. But like, just, you know, not everything. Yeah. I feel like she's so either irritated or annoyed like the entire time.
Yes.
And on a vacation, like, it's one thing if we're in dinner and we have an issue, but like on vacation, no, I can't do this with you.
No, I'm like, go back to the hotel and FaceTime your husband.
Thank you. Go meditate. Thank you. Go back to that temple and pray, girl, because you need to bring it down like 18 notches right now.
I don't want to travel with her at all. No.
Now, one thing that is interesting about Leanne right now, the last couple of episodes, is we see something kind of developing between her and Brandy, which I thought would never, ever, ever happen again. And for some reason, Brandy is like really chilling with her and kind of coming off of that antagonistic sort of air that she's always had with Leanne, like for the longest, since they fell out before the last fallout. She's always been okay. Like, she might be courteous or whatever, but now she's actually bridging the gap to trying to bring a friendship with her. And that's really interesting.
Right. I mean, she defended her at the dinner, and then she does continue to, you know, kind of hang out with her. And so I think that you are seeing that too. So again, it's kind of like we're seeing some of these relationships and roles kind of change right now through this season. And
very much so.
I'm kind of interested to see that because I'm hoping that it kind of, you know, makes the show come a little bit more alive right now.
I agree. And the reason why I even brought that up is because not only did she defend her at the dinner, but I thought that when she went to Cameron and Leanne's room, like, you know, high on sleeping pills or whatever, I thought that was so cute. Yeah. And it was kind of like, oh, we're just having a little slumber party. And it was adorable. And it was really fun. And so great. So I really, it was kind of nice to see her just relaxing with them. And I was totally surprised because I was like, this the room you going to? Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, she did take a sleeping pill. Maybe she didn't know where she was.
Exactly. She was like, I don't know who I'm talking to, because I was like, you're not back there someplace, you know, doing a lap dance with Stephanie or something. But no, she was like living it up with Cameron.
I liked it.
And Leanne. So that was really, really fun. That was really cute. So let's talk about Cabbage and Condoms.
I would like... I mean, first of all, the name of that place is amazing.
I know, that's so cool. And there's like, I think I've been to like, I want to say Toronto, and there was like some condom store. There's something that was like all about condoms there too. And I was like, I'm very intrigued.
I was very intrigued.
It was really interesting. Yeah. And it's so funny because I guess Travis recommended it, but then we get there and I don't know, because I feel like Stephanie, I'm not that convinced her that they're that great of a judge of foreign food. So she was like, the food is horrible. And I was like, that's because you don't eat anything. You didn't want to eat chicken on a stick. So
she ordered chicken on a stick and like spring rolls. And, you know, again, here's like Deandra that's like digging into the pad thai and getting all the good stuff. But I don't think you can judge their food based on those women.
Exactly, because Deandra had like a curry or something, and she offered some to Stephanie. Stephanie was like, no. And she's like, it's chicken, Stephanie. Like, and then it was funny because when Deandra, I think she was eating squid, and I was like, y'all got to have calamari in Dallas. Like, I do not believe you right now. So it was interesting. So she seemed like she really didn't like the food.
No, she said it was horrible. But again, not the biggest, people to judge the food scene from, since they don't eat anything.
Exactly. Because I kind of want to say, like, do you eat Thai food? Because that's what they do there.
Yes.
So I feel like maybe she doesn't. But I felt like the whole restaurant vibe was pretty cool.
Yeah, those installations were really unique. I mean, it's definitely a fun experience to go and do something like that, that's kind of different than anything they've probably done before.
Yes, very much so. So they decide to take it to the red light district. And if any of you guys have been to Thailand and, and you're watching us in the live chat, then, make some comments. Yeah. Let us know what your Thailand experiences have been, because we'd love to hear about those as well, especially if you guys have made it to the red light district, because that was kind of my thing, because I've always wanted to go to the red light district of Amsterdam and the one in Thailand. So they decide to go to a lady boy show, and like they go to a late night, like whatever, the ping pong place that Travis told her about, like from the beginning, which made us all want to go to Thailand to start with. Yes. So what are your thoughts about kind of how everyone reacted to being in the red light district?
Interesting, because I mean, again, it started out being fun. And, the lady show, I think, was hilarious because all of a sudden in the confessional, I mean, Cameron has a whiteboard and is demonstrating. I mean, that was like the highlight of the whole show, seeing her do that, because she did a pretty good job of explaining it. But, I think you see a part of her that's been like a little bit more sheltered or uptight, and she's kind of letting loose. But I just think, again, here comes Leanne. She comes running out of the ping pong show, but she's laughing. But then 20 minutes later, she's talking about how, it's just inappropriate and we shouldn't be here and we're in a bad area. So I'm still not quite sure, like, what that was all about. If it's a jealousy thing, she wanted to go home.
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting because I think, as you mentioned, everybody was like really excited. Yeah. And like, I know they've been abroad and maybe they didn't do the red light district in Amsterdam, but they seemed very sort of not, a little uptight to actually go to a red light district. So it's like, okay, calm, like relax. This is what you're signed up for if you're going to this type of area. Right. So it was interesting. I think everyone sort of had more fun in the Lady Boys show, even though there was like a male threesome on stage or whatever. And Cameron and her diagrams, hilarious. Like, I was like, girl, you can draw. Look at you.
I do this every episode.
Exactly. And so they all watched that, and they all seemed to kind of, they were sort of like, oh my gosh, but in a good way.
Yes.
Which was interesting. And then when they go to the ladies, the ping pong show that Travis and Jeremy and everybody knows about, and all the men told them about, they were like really grossed out by that.
They were grossed out. They were freaked out. They came running out.
Exactly. Like literally, I think after 5 minutes, Carrie runs out, and then everyone is surprised because Cameron runs after her.
Right.
And now, for some reason, like that I'm not quite getting, that really irritates Leanne.
And that's what, again, when it comes back to like a jealous friendship thing to me, I think she's more irritated that Cameron ran after Carrie. But then she turns it into a whole Carrie thing. Like, well, Carrie's the big bad girl that can handle everything, and she's the first one that runs out. So, again, it goes back to Leanne, where I just think that, like, she can't take other friendships.
Exactly. And then what was interesting is Carrie made the point to her, I think it was sort of, maybe it was in between the lady boy show and the female show, but she's like, if you're going to come, like, because Leanne's attitude was kind of like, I'm doing you guys a favor by coming. It's like, girl, we all on vacation. If you don't want to come, don't come. But she's coming and like complaining. And Carrie actually says something to her like, okay, well then like just come and enjoy it. Like, why do we have to listen to you?
Right.
Sort of be like really like someone's mother this whole portion of the episode.
Right. And of course Brandy is having fun through the whole thing because she just has that lighthearted attitude, and at the end she's like, we want to stay out. But now it's like they're almost all forced to like go home because Leanne's complaining it's a bad area. So once again, she's kind of ruined the night for them on vacation, and I'm like, yeah, just go home yourself.
I know. I feel like we need Vicky from
yes.
Real Housewives of Orange County to whoop it up because y'all are lame right now.
Lame.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need a little bit. And it's funny because, like you said, Brandy is like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. And Brandy isn't even the youngest one. But part of it is, I think, when you're traveling with Leanne and it's this constant complaining and mothering, that's going to drain anybody on vacation. I'm like, girl, I need a nap. I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys are in Thailand and you're spending half of your vacation in the hotel. Like,
exactly.
It wasn't fun. I would have stayed out. I would have just been like, you know what? I'm going to go do my own thing.
Exactly. So it's interesting because they all sort of leave off in different groups. So Leanne leaves with, who did she leave? Okay, so Deandra and Cameron were back in the bathroom. No, it was Leanne and Stephanie because Brandy...
Wait, Brandy left.
Brandy left in the middle because Brandy was like, okay, we left Cameron and... we left Cameron and Deandra in the bathroom.
Yes, because
and then was it Brandy, Stephanie, and Leanne that left right first? And so they're riding in the cab, and that's when Leanne goes in again.
Right.
She's like, oh, well, she's such a hard Mexican, but she couldn't stay. Da 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 da. And I don't know because it's so interesting. Because we know kind of what happens in real time with these people. And she can't obviously, now that she's viewing the episodes, but I was like, you look like a huge racist. Why are you continuing episode after episode to keep talking about what she's doing as a Mexican? Right. Because it's like, if you were talking about Brandy, would it be like as a redhead, like as a blonde? Like, what are you saying? And now, to me, it's clearly racist.
And she's starting to really look like that, especially in this episode, because she brings it up a couple of times. And has no remorse for it at all. And so it's going to come back to bite her. It's coming back from people tweeting. And she's just making herself look extremely bad.
Yeah, I mean, very much so. Because to me, it's like, okay, whatever, although Carrie, she might, have an accent or something. She basically don't really look all that Mexican, to be honest with you. So why are you still like, ooh, the Mexican? Like, to me, you are bringing her race and her ethnicity into it when you're like, you don't like her. You don't have to like her, but you don't have to dog her based on her ethnicity. Like, that just seems crazy to me right now.
Yeah, and any chance she gets to bash somebody, Leanne kind of does it. It's like, so you are like this, I'm Carrie, I'm strong. But yeah, you might have had one experience. I probably would have run right out of that place too. But she uses it as an excuse again to like chime in on Carrie.
Right. And it's one thing. Like, I don't even, not everybody's going to like each other. And she is a bit of a complainer or whatever. So that's how she's going to do. But now that she's really riding this whole... oh, but the hard Mexican, because she said that so many times in this episode as well, and she said it in several other episodes. And Stephanie, I think, said something to her maybe the first night, but now they're kind of just cringing and letting it ride. So I kind of need Stephanie or Brandy or somebody to say something.
They do. I was surprised that none of them have said something yet, and I think soon enough they're going to have to. Yeah,
I definitely agree. And I think especially if it gets back to Carrie. Like, so far it hasn't, or it hasn't appeared to, but I think once Carrie, like, I don't know, because I haven't seen Carrie tweet or say anything about the show either.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see what her response will be, I think, because it's like, okay, she doesn't like Leanne either, but I'm not even sure what Leanne's ethnicity is other than Caucasian, so I don't know. But it's like she's not referring to her race. And as the first sort of ethnic person on this show during her first season, this is just a horrible look for everyone, really, until they kind of get it together.
I'm just hoping they all get back from Bangkok in one piece at this point.
Very, very true. And so, and it's interesting because, again, during this final dinner, like, they're still talking about the dress. And finally, Carrie and Deandra make a more authentic apology to Leanne. And Leanne appears to accept it, but then in the confessional is like, I don't. And so it's like, okay.
It's going to continue.
Exactly. And I feel like, even if you don't believe it, just let it go. Like, it's not this deep on either side.
No, at this point, again, it's like, let it go. The situation happened. We've now apologized. But if I hear one more comment about it in this next episode, it's too much.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. And I really feel like Leanne pretending to accept their apology and then kind of telling the audience that she doesn't believe it for a minute, it's not authentic or whatever, really is just her way of holding a grudge like forever and ever.
100%.
Sorry, you guys, that's this episode, but they had some really, really fun clips for next week. So, and I love it when they go on trips. I love all Housewives shows when they take the show on the road. It always makes for entertainment, for sure.
We need to see more of Miss Cameron in those confessionals.
Exactly, being her funny self. All right, so let's take a look at some tweets, you guys. All righty. Sorry. Okay, this one is. OMG, the jealousy Leanne is showing when Cameron is having fun with Carrie shaking my head. Let her have fun. She's on a vacation and trying to make her choose sides. That's not a real friend. Wait a minute. I can't. Okay. I am a friend. I'm Team Carrie. Okay. Sorry, you guys. A sister is blind. But yes, I am Team Carrie as well. And then I really enjoyed this episode with Cameron and Carrie, as we mentioned.
Right.
And Leanne, you're not her mama.
No.
You know, so stop it. All right, here we go. I'm on track now. So, Jazzy Brooks. OMG, the jealousy Leanne is showing when Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm not at a point. Where are we going? No, all right. So we did that one. Moving on to the next one. Okay. All right. I'm on it, you guys. All right. Princess David. Can we please have one episode where Leanne Locken doesn't use her childhood to make everything about her? How many times can you bring up your shit childhood?
Every episode.
The Bravo camera isn't a therapist. So someone with a degree, go see someone with a degree in crazy B. Oh my gosh. Hashtag quit crying. Hashtag tired A storyline. Absolutely. Princess David, you got it, boo.
You got it.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, yes. Get some therapy, girl. We can't do this with you another season.
No,
we
not
cannot.
at all.
We cannot. Okay. So this is from Lori J. Lanham. So Cameron Westcott's whiteboard stole the show tonight. Hashtag RHOD.
I agree.
Yes, Cameron's whiteboard for both the ping pong. Oh my gosh. And then when they did sort of like the Brady Bunch thing where all the ping pongs are coming, like that, the producers shot out. That was like hilarious and so much fun.
Amazing.
Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. This is from Burgundy Lou. At Leanne Locken, lying to Deandra Simmons and Carrie Brittingham by accepting their sincere apology is not taking the high road. It is holding a grudge. Yes. Absolutely. And we don't have that time with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's the queen of this episode. She's the queen of this franchise right now.
Totally.
She is the head honcho, the main housewife. And it's like, you don't have to rely on holding these sort of lame. Little grudges forever. So that, let it go. Because that dress was horrible, girl. You knew it all along. Okay. All righty. And this is from Susan Lindner EM.
This is great.
Can't believe they're eating at hashtag cabbages and condoms. I waited tables there and it was amazing food with a mission to make condoms as accessible as cabbages. In 1994, HIV was a massive epidemic in Thailand. CNC strove to educate people in a fun way. And I really liked this tweet because somebody actually said too that it's nice to kind of learn a little bit kind of what that's all about. And I really was like, oh wow. And as we said, I wasn't judging their food based on those comments.
And they mentioned that in the episode that was what that restaurant did, was to make awareness about HIV. So again, the whole food thing. It's like,
and so it was a really nice place. All right, and so this last one, at the petty mess, excuse me. Why can Leanne not get mad at Carrie without bringing up her ethnicity? It can only happen so many times before it becomes blatantly prejudice. There's literally no reason to bring up her ethnicity in these moments. Absolutely, I totally agree. And I think the more that Leanne continues to do it, the more racist she looks, you guys. All right, so we're moving on to news and gossip. So take it away, Susie.
Yes. We just had our first BravoCon, which actually was a huge success for the franchise. And at this BravoCon, Andy Cohen let it slip that a new franchise is in the works and filming. And it is The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Exactly.
We don't know the cast members yet. They did not tell us that.
No, but I don't know. On one hand, I feel like they threw a dart and was like, okay, this is what we're doing. And then on the other hand, as a fan of Big Love, I can't wait to see a sister wife. So bring it.
Yes. I'm so excited because I think they threw us for a loop, and I think it's going to end up being like one of the more wild ones.
I mean, and I'm not going to lie. If y'all don't have no sister wives, I might not be watching it because we know it ain't going to be no black people. No, I'm just saying, maybe there will be some. Surprise us. But I doubt it. But I think it'll be fun. And I hope that it's an exciting one because it's an interesting choice.
Yes.
So hopefully they have something kind of really wacky in store for us.
I hope so.
All righty, you guys. So before we get out of here, let's do some predictions. What do you think, Susie?
Now, you're AfterBuzz TV.
Like I said, I just hope that they get out of Bangkok in one piece. But I do think we're going to see some of these new relationships continue to develop. And I think Leanne's going to continue on her crazy train. And she's going to just be a jealous human for a long time.
I agree. I think what's going to be interesting is I think because Leanne is so overprotective and she's showing this jealousy over Cameron, I think that is going to kind of rear its head in some sort of interesting ways because I think Deandra and Carrie are going to really, because I don't think Cameron has the guts to stand up for herself, but I do feel like Carrie's going to be like, look, get up off her. And I think that is going to be like a real juicy, fun fight for us to watch.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope so.
All right, you guys, it has been great. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we get out of here, Susie, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on social media at Susie G Styles.
All right, you guys, and I'm Erika Edwards. You can follow me on all of my social media at Erika, that's Erika, D as in door, Edwards. Ciao for now, folks. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.